Hey everyone, it's Tregs here. Hope you are all doing good. So this is the 1st of June 2026 and it's the first day of my new idea of doing a mental health walk and talk. This could be 10 minutes, could be 15. I'm gonna put it on my socials, I'm gonna put it on my YouTube channel, and I'm gonna commit to doing it every day in June, see where it goes. It's gonna be very organic, just gonna walk and talk, but as it builds, you know, I'll ask people if they've got any questions for the night before I do another one. And then maybe I'll do some split screens, I'll do some lives. Let's just see where it goes. So for those of you that obviously know what's going on, my dad's got lung cancer. It was stage 2, so we caught it early. He's just finished 6 weeks of radiation, which has absolutely floored him. He's been back in hospital because he wasn't adhering to the protocols at home. Now he's home, he's struggling, he's just coughing up gunk, but he's still sort of refusing to quit, which is great. But he just can't. You know, I caught him mowing the lawn the other day, going out in his car. It's difficult, and then he's trying to get up before me to walk the dogs. And he's just floored. He's absolutely floored. So it's really hard. It's really hard, and I was kind of all right with everything until about week 4 or 5, I could see how this was hitting him. He had to stay in hospital then during his last week of radiation. We were warned this would happen, but of course you might think, you kind of like go, oh, are we going to get away with it? Or anyway, we are where we are. We ain't out the woods. Yeah, he rang the bell because you can ring the bell when your treatment is done, but we ain't out the woods. Okay, simple as that. I wanted to start this because you'll always get full transparency from me, guys. You know, I like to think I'm quite an upbeat, positive person. You know, if I'm having a beer, me and Becky are out having a beer, I'll put it on my socials. If I'm at the footy with my son, put it on the socials. If I'm out running, playing air guitar, you see my day-to-day stuff. But I'll always tell you if this, I can't, I'm one of those guys that I can't really, you know, I can't lie about how I'm feeling. And I love talking to the camera. I've built a business doing it. And I say to all my clients, like, I love turning up for my Zoom calls. I'm like, guys, I'm going to show up for you, so show up for me. Because actually, here's a really interesting thing. With all this going on, I'm learning a lot about myself. Here I am exploring nature, exploring myself and nature. I might go into some David Brent, I can't help it, it's ADHD. Exploring myself and nature in Dennis Woods. I'm learning a lot about myself. I learn an awful lot about myself. It's very humbling this year. I want to talk about that, humility first, because the last couple of years since meeting Becky, it's just been a ride, man. You know, when we met each other, it was pretty obvious that we were soulmates within probably a week. And then it was like, one day I said to her, I speak Spanish, like I love Spanish culture, and she replied in Spanish, and I was like, God, you hearing my prayers? And I was like, right, let's go, let's get traveling, let's get viajando. So we went to Valencia, Barcelona, and we just did all the things, man. We were going out, and it's been great. And she's come to the gym where I'm coaching. We set up a ladies program. It's been so many highs. And then 2026 hasn't really gone as we'd have thought. And this is the point, right? It's like nobody knows what's going to happen. And Becky's had some, I'm gonna have to swap hands, and I will be getting a like a selfie stick as we move forward, because all the training I do, it actually hurts to hold this. So yeah, Becky's had some real problems. She's had a blood clot in her eye. She was getting head pain, she was getting dizzy. She's actually had 2 bumps in her car now, 2 accidents. One just before she met me, one at Christmas last year with the kids and the dog in the back. Obviously everything was fine, but it left her with a blood clot in the eye. Every time she trained, she was getting dizzy. To cut a long story short, when she got some answers from the specialist, they said to her, you're going to need steroid injections. She was like, right, okay, when can I train, lift weights again? And the guy looked at her deadpan and said, never. So imagine that. So her whole identity, calisthenics, you know, handstands, muscle ups, ring dips, just stripped away. Now, there is good news, because she actually has followed protocol, although she has been doing some different type of training, more controlled. She refused the final steroid injection, went back and the medics were bowled over because actually it had healed. And they were saying to her, "No, this is a lifetime thing." So it's healed. So we're very grateful. She's not back doing the sort of muscle ups and handstand walks because that stuff will take its toll. But she has healed, but she feels her identity's been stripped back. I was trying to put myself in a position. Imagine somebody said, "Tregs, you can never do kettlebells again. You can never go for a run. You can never lift weights again." It would break me. So we've had that. And then my dad with the old rhythm as a dancer. Now, of course, that was off the top, but it was not off the top of your head, but you can use that because who says cancer has to be depressing when you can just quote like a famous song, yeah? And that's me saying it. It's my dad's got the cancer. So, don't worry about it. Because, sometimes you have to have a laugh in all this, in these moments. So it's been really challenging. Now, my dad didn't get the diagnosis till probably March. But we knew before then he was diagnosed with COPD. He'd been unwell since probably October. So there's been that. And then, it just feels like, wow, it's been a couple of months now and it's just been really tough, really challenging. This ain't a woe meeting. I'm just talking. I've been coaching almost 2 decades. And the one thing I tell you is everyone got problems. I hear problems every day. Being a PT is like being a therapist. I hear problems every day. And I like talking. I like speaking it out because I think a lot of people will maybe go about their day in silence. Maybe they're at a computer at work or they're driving and they're just mulling over their own shit. When actually, when you get to talk about it with people, it's amazing. That's what I love, what I do with my programs. We all get to talk and share stuff. Problem shared is a problem halved, right? So it's been really challenging, but I want to talk about, and this ain't oh, look at me, aren't I great? Well, I am, but it's not about that, is it? It's about, as a collective, what I've done. So I am booze free, 120 days now. Now, this isn't my first rodeo of doing booze free. I've done it many a time before. Did it during COVID after becoming a part-time alcoholic for the first couple of months of lockdown. Me and Becky actually did it last year. We started on January, went all the way to her birthday on May the 6th. And that was the plan this year. That was the plan. But at the end of Jan, I got a little bit carried away after Man U beat Arsenal. Because I had a little flutter. I had a little flutter once a year. I always make it interesting. And I drank Diet Coke for the whole game. But when it came in, we had a load of beers afterwards. And then the week after, we were on a social back in Gloucestershire the following week. And I just remember, like, driving to work in Feb. My dad hadn't been diagnosed then, but I was just like, I don't feel well. I don't feel good. The alcohol does not help me, especially during the winter months. And it's almost like I was being called back, like that. This ain't you in alignment with who you're trying to be, So I was like, right, I'm going to go back off it. Bex was like, yeah, look, I can get down with that. Anytime I drink alcohol, I get, my sight is bad. And we were actually away at Christmas, and we were having a skinful. We had a little spa retreat, and she's like, I woke up really, really dizzy. And I was like, we were breakdancing on the bed, but that was enough. So we've done it. And actually, as time has gone on, my dad's got progressively worse, and Becky's had to be patient with her eye. We've actually leaned into it a lot more. And I'm never going to say no to alcohol because I do enjoy a pint. There's a football pint, there's a balcony pint on holiday, there's the airport pint, there's a Christmas Day pint. All those pints are good pints, but I feel like right now that the universe is testing me. I set up this Healthy Happy Dad program a year ago, and it feels like ever since then, been under a bit of warfare. It's like, oh, you're gonna be a healthy, happy dad? Have that. Because I always talk about how you're gonna show up in front of your kids. One of my biggest values is how am I gonna show up in front of John and Elliot? I've always been very good at never bringing, I've been self-employed all my life. And as much as I love my job, it brings its challenges. When you have a business, you have things like cash flow issues, leads issues, people not paying issues, things like that. I never bring it home with me. And it's hard sometimes, but I never bring it home with me. I've always, right, how am I going to show up with the boys? For the boys. I want them to see Healthy Happy Dad. Here's one thing a lot of people don't realise is that sometimes your kids only see you for 10 minutes in the day. Doesn't mean you're a crap parent. It means that you're rushing out the door for work, and maybe you're seeing them quite late when you get home. We've all had times like that. How are you showing up? How are you showing up? How do you get out of bed? Are they like, oh, Dad's miserable in the morning, he's moody? Or, and how are you showing up when you get in there, like the door closes, like, oh God, Dad's home, he's going to be angry from the day at work. You know, I've never wanted to be that guy. So, you know, my youngest actually takes a little while to get going in the morning. So I try and be that, you know, come on, son, way, and I'll come in from the sea and put my cold hands on him. Try and, like, oh, that's my dad, he's mental. Yeah, but it's better than being, you know, miserable. So I'm always thinking about, like, what picture are they going to get of me? Because here's the great thing, right? Kids figure it out. They figure out as you get older, they're going to figure out who you are. My kids are 12 and 13 now. They would know if I was bullshitting, you know. So yeah, it's been a real test, and been really humbled this year. And actually in my meditation, I've been asking for more humility, more wisdom. And I'm learning some big lessons. I'm learning more patience, more compassion, seeing my dad struggle. It's hard sometimes. I've flipped off I've gone off the handle a few times. It's tough. Then I always try and reflect, not run to old vices. My vices are food. I'll overeat maybe once a fortnight, but it's probably because I'm so hungry from all the training. But I've been saying to myself, don't drink alcohol. Because it's almost like a magnifier, isn't it? It's like, if you're happy, it's like, you have a beer, way. I don't, see, when I have a beer, I can doom scroll. When I eat junk, I doom scroll. When I'm not having alcohol, I can feel alignment, and alignment is something that's calling me a lot at the minute. And listen, it's not easy. There's times where I'm like, this is tough. But I'll tell you something, guys, right? Not eating junk for the majority of the time, not having alcohol, doing my steps, getting out in nature. Guys, every one of you watching this video, no matter where you are, will have a place that you can get out in near you, all right? Every one of you, get out in it. Now, I'm on my phone, obviously, because I'm recording content. I went for a run with my dog this morning in nature, no phone. It was one of the finest hour and a halves. It was amazing. I absolutely loved it. Now, my problems haven't gone away. I went home, my dad was still on the couch with cancer, but I'd had a run with my dog. My endorphins were high. I felt clean. I felt cleansed. I was running and just in the moment with the dog, like stopping, throwing a stick in the water, getting out and, yo, come on, Ivy, let's find some squirrels. It was amazing. Just totally out there in nature with a dog, you know, and that's crafts. So listen, guys, I will always come back to this message. Everyone's got problems. You're probably watching this now. Maybe you've lost a family member. You've got stuff going on. I see you more than ever. I see you more than ever, okay? You've got to show up sometimes. And like I said in the story yesterday, that's not waking up at 5 a.m, doing an ice bath, listening to David Goggins, and then thinking you've got to run up a mountain when you feel like you're drowning. Because I felt like I've been drowning recently. But I've been saying to myself, what can I do today to just keep me on the right trajectory? Because this, being healthy, I'm the leanest I've been in a very long time. But it's not about so much like, oh, I can see my abs. It's what person am I now? And who can I become? Like, as my dad goes through this journey, is going to sit down, having cans, eating shit, scrolling and looking for sympathy going to help me? Or is just showing up, like getting out in nature? Like, some of you guys might not be training, but because you might not be fit enough, you might want to go to the gym, but you can walk. All right, and I want you to understand this. Your nutritional choices, your choice to drink water and getting out in nature is going to help you. There's a famous quote by Glenn Livingston. He wrote a book called Never Binge Again. He said, if you have a problem and then you run to your vices, alcohol, sugar, junk food, you know, gambling, whatever it is, midget porn, right? Well, you wake up in the morning, now you've got two problems. You still got the problem. You've done your bollocks on a subscription to midget porn. Do you know what I mean? Or you've had 10 pints and now you've got a hangover. So stay away from the vices. We live in an instant gratification world where we're looking to change our state. Shit day, beers. A family member's unwell, sugar. You know, had an argument with the boss at work. You know, RussianAmputee.com. I just made that up. Do you know what I mean? So don't do it. There's power in the pause. Take a breath. Who am I trying to be? Like, I'm really trying to be a better fucking person at the minute, guys. I'll talk more on that. I feel like I love my life Absolutely love it. I've just felt a deeper calling recently to become even better, because I am, you know, I'm good anyway. So, oh, you can't put even better, can you? It sounds arrogant, you know. But I'm feeling a deep calling that I want to serve more, I want to help more, and I want to align more. And I feel that the universe, don't know if any of you are spiritual, I'm extremely spiritual, talk more about this over the next 30 days, is testing me. Because the thing is, guys, right, I want you to understand that if you're going through a tough time right now, it's just a phase, it will pass. Life, I've learnt, goes in phases. And, you know, you can look back on your life maybe 3 years ago, it might be different to what it was in terms of, might be a relationship, how your job is, you know, the structure of your life, maybe you're healthier. But life goes in phases. And I read a quote, or I listened to some stuff on YouTube the other day, and it said, the thing is with problems, they all come to pass. They do. I'm walking through the fire right now. It's not woe me, but I'm learning a lot about myself. Becky's walking through the fire. She's learning a lot about herself. We're learning a lot about ourselves as a couple. We were walking yesterday and we were having some just conversations about it all. Like, we haven't been able to spend as much time together because of my dad. We haven't been able to train together because of Rye. We haven't been able to go out for, you know, meals and get drunk because of her eye, because of, like, even on her birthday where there was an opportunity to have a drink, it was like, well, if my dad's, you know, and I got to get away, we haven't been able to do any of that. A lot of stuff that really brought us together, you know. We weren't able to go to a hotel room and wreck it like we did in the early days because we've had these extra responsibilities. And but we were saying, like, isn't it great that we can talk about it and talk about how it's changed and it's different and it's a struggle, but we're still here growing together, you know. And as David Brent would say, hold on, Solomon's here, you move too fast, what's going on? Yeah, what have we learned from this? What are we learning from this? Because if every time you just go into that reactive mode, and I've had it, why me, why is this not fair? It's not, life's not fair, is it? It ain't fair. And that's the point. But I'll tell you what, you take my steps away from me now, you take my hydration away from me now, you take my, I'm going deep back actually. One of my things for June is to meditate for 30 minutes a day. No music, no nothing, because I'll be deep in meditation. You know, I'll be on a beach in Valencia somewhere, and then a bloody YouTube ad will pop up saying, oh, have you, you know, you're going to get left behind with AI. I'm like, mate, do you know what I mean? I was on a beach, mate. I'd made it. I had 100 members in Healthy Happy Dad. You're asking me about AI. Yes, I use it already. But I'm meditating a lot more. I actually meditated earlier. I fell asleep and it was so good. You take all that away from me right now, I'd crumble. I would crumble. I'd apple crumble, mate. Because this stuff here is giving me peace. I feel good. I feel strong. I feel lean. I don't want to go around, you know, feeling soft, flabby of the mind. One of my friends said to me before, he said, Tregs, we just become flabby thinkers. We're flabby of the mind just because of the food, you know. The food's killing us. So there's my musings for day one. Guys, if you're going through hell, to quote Winston Churchill, just keep going, man. But look after yourself. Like I said, doesn't mean going hard, doing burpees, listen to David Goggins at 5 a.m. That might be your thing. Listen to Coach Tregs instead, yeah? He needs more of a platform. And he's funnier. So, but just look after yourself, man. One thing I'm going to be doing less of this month, scrolling. Even though my timeline is clean, I can still waste hours scrolling. Instead, I'm going to spend more time in silence, connecting with the Most High and staying grounded, because actually this is happening. It's all happening. It's happening. When you realize it's happening, whatever's going on is happening, and actually some things are just out of your control. So it's just surrendering to it and being in the moment. That'll set you free. I've been Coach Tregs, and you've been the best. I'll see you tomorrow.